the girl behind the kit, a childhood immersed in rhythm. What if the smile we've always seen was simply a mask, perfected from childhood? In the world of digital drumming sensations, Sina, better known as Sina Drums, has emerged as a quiet powerhouse. But her journey didn't begin with millions of subscribers or viral fame. It started in a small home studio in Germany, where music was less a hobby and more a family tradition. Her father, a professional musician, raised her in an environment where drumsticks were just as familiar as pencils. By the age of 10, Sina was already mastering complex rhythms, practicing for hours under her father's meticulous guidance. She was homeschooled, not just for academics, but to fully focus on developing her musical identity. That might sound like a dream to outsiders, but it came with a trade-off: social isolation, emotional pressure, and the quiet burden of being the perfect prodigy. While her peers played outside or socialized, Sina spent years refining her timing, her posture, and yes, even her smile. The very expression fans now recognize as Sina's calm demeanor may have been sculpted not from joy, but from obligation. Interviews and behind-the-scenes clips hint at a young girl deeply disciplined, yet quietly navigating a reality where the line between childhood and professionalism was blurred. Her early YouTube uploads, often devoid of speech or facial close-ups, offer a glimpse into that internalized silence. Even now, she rarely breaks from that composed exterior, making many wonder: has Sina ever truly let herself be anything other than composed? Viral but invisible, the lonely road to internet stardom. How can someone be seen by millions and still feel invisible? Sina's rise to online prominence came almost out of nowhere, with her classic rock drum covers pulling in tens of millions of views. But beneath the polished execution and viral momentum, there was a growing divide between visibility and validation. While the world applauded her technical brilliance, especially her renditions of Phil Collins, Queen, and Toto hits, few paused to ask, who is the person behind these perfect performances? Sina rarely spoke in videos, often cropping out her face entirely, focusing only on the drums. Fans initially interpreted this as artistic choice or modesty, but some began to speculate. Was it shyness, discomfort, or something deeper? Ironically, the less Sina showed of herself, the more audiences projected their own ideas onto her. She became a symbol of pure talent, untouched by the distractions of mainstream fame, yet that mystique likely came at a personal cost. For years, her name trended online, yet she remained anonymous to the very industry she worked so hard to impress. No record deals, no festival invites, no mainstream collaborations, just numbers, views, likes, comments, all praising her but never truly knowing her. This kind of isolated success, while enviable on paper, can be emotionally exhausting. And for someone like Sina, who spent her formative years behind a kit rather than in the spotlight, the silence may have spoken louder than any applause. As the numbers climbed, so did the pressure to maintain the illusion. Always calm, always perfect, never seen cracking, never allowed to show what she really felt. The money mirage, when viral views don't pay the bills. What if we told you Sina's millions of views barely paid the rent? Behind the curtain of viral fame lies one of the most brutal truths of digital music. Views don't always translate to income, especially not in Sina's case. While the internet marveled at her ability to recreate the intricate drum patterns of Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, YouTube's monetization system quietly undercut her efforts. Since most of her content involves cover songs, nearly all of the ad revenue from her videos gets claimed by the original copyright holders. That means Sina's brilliant performances, some hitting tens of millions of views, often earned her little to nothing. While many assumed she was living comfortably off her viral success, Sina quietly launched a Patreon account and began selling merchandise to keep things afloat. In interviews and Q&A videos, she's hinted at the struggle, admitting that without her father's help in recording, mixing, and production, the entire channel might not even be sustainable. Her father, both a mentor and behind-the-scenes technician, remains an unsung pillar holding up her brand. But this reliance also sparked hushed conversations among fans. Was Sina burning out? Was this passion project turning into a family obligation? While she never directly complained, longtime viewers began to notice coded fatigue in her tone. Phrases like "trying my best to keep it going" or "not sure what comes next" started appearing in her posts. Despite the spotlight, Sina remained in a shadow cast by the very platform she helped popularize. And while others cashed in with vlogs and drama, Sina's loyalty to music and silence cost her financial stability, and perhaps a piece of herself in the process. Could the smile that made her famous also be her heaviest mask? Over time, Sina's image became synonymous with serenity, cool, composed, unshakable behind the drums. But that branding, while marketable, came with an emotional cost. Fans came to expect her smile in every thumbnail, her precise control in every beat, and her unwavering calm in every video. And while that consistency helped her channel grow, it also boxed her into an identity she couldn't escape. In a rare podcast appearance, Sina softly admitted, "Sometimes I have to smile even when I don't feel like playing." It was a passing remark, but one that spoke volumes. That one sentence revealed the growing weight of expectations, of being the perfect drummer, the polite artist, the girl who never breaks. Her calmness wasn't always authenticity. Sometimes it was survival. Comments continued to praise her for being the most peaceful creator online, even as she navigated the burnout and exhaustion that often come with solo content creation. But she couldn't just stop, not without disappointing the very audience that had elevated her. Even her lighting setup, her neutral color palette, and her posture became part of the brand, forcing her to maintain that image whether or not it matched how she actually felt. While many creators pivot, rebrand, or take breaks, Sina remained on the hamster wheel, smiling for the algorithm and for the audience, even when the drums stopped feeling joyful. For someone who never set out to be a performer in the traditional sense, she was now trapped in a performance of her own design, and stepping out of it could mean losing everything. What happens when your real passion gets ignored by everyone but you? After years of covering other people's music, Sina made a bold move. She launched her own original project, a band called Kai. Finally, she could showcase her creativity beyond recreating the past. She composed, recorded, and released songs that meant something deeply personal to her. But what followed was silence. Despite her massive subscriber base, engagement with her original music was underwhelming. Some fans applauded the effort, but most ignored it, waiting for the next drum cover of a classic hit. The message from the algorithm was clear. Covers bring clicks and originality gets buried. Sina didn't openly express frustration, but her social media hints told the story. Phrases like "we tried something new," "let's see how it goes," or "thanks to the few who listened" carried a quiet ache. The emotional whiplash of creating art you care about only to have it dismissed is a struggle many YouTubers face. But in Sina's case, it hit especially hard. For someone who had given years to mastering the sounds of others, her attempt to share her own voice was met with indifference. Still, she didn't quit. She doubled down, balancing original music with the algorithm-friendly covers just to survive. This internal tug-of-war between artistic expression and platform performance became a quiet battle beneath her polished uploads. And while fans continued to applaud her consistency, few realized how deeply Sina longed to be heard for who she truly was, not just for how well she could mimic the greats. Fans noticed it first. Was Sina's silence a break or a cry for help? In recent years, something shifted in Sina's uploads, and her most loyal followers sensed it instantly. Videos started coming less frequently, and when they did, something was different. Her lighting was dimmer. Her energy was quieter. Her once crisp thumbnails became more subdued. On Reddit and YouTube comment sections, viewers began asking, "Is Sina okay?" Some wondered if she was simply evolving as an artist, but others weren't so sure. There were long gaps between uploads, vague captions like "taking a short break," and a noticeable change in her tone. Her drum playing remained flawless, but the joy behind it seemed to be flickering. In the world of content creation, burnout is often loud. Creators make announcements, take hiatuses, or post dramatic farewell videos. But Sina's burnout was different. It was silent, slow, and deeply personal. She never complained, never posted, "I'm overwhelmed," but her absence spoke volumes. And in that silence, fans began connecting the dots. The weight of constant performance, limited monetization, and unmet artistic fulfillment seemed to be catching up. One fan wrote, "She looks like she's just going through the motions." Another asked, "When was the last time she looked truly happy behind the drums?" Sina never responded directly, but her lack of denial may have been the clearest answer of all. For an artist who built her name on precision and calm, losing emotional spark, even quietly, felt like a thunderclap. Can one person carry an entire music empire on her back and not break? Unlike many other YouTubers who work with teams, Sina does nearly everything herself. She plays, records, mixes, edits, and uploads, often from the same modest home studio where it all began. While this level of control ensures creative integrity, it also comes with crushing responsibility. There's no manager scheduling breaks, no assistant fielding emails, no videographer helping her frame shots. It's Sina on her own. For years, this solo structure allowed her to maintain a personal connection with fans. But as her channel grew, the workload didn't just increase, it became overwhelming. In a 2023 vlog, she briefly mentioned feeling spread thin, and fans took note. They offered support, encouraging her to rest or hire help, but Sina, ever the perfectionist, pushed forward. Even her merchandise and Patreon were managed quietly, without promotional fanfare, suggesting someone too modest or too tired to fully market herself. Over time, what began as a passion project began to look more like a quiet burden. Behind every upload was a girl juggling everything, with no safety net if something went wrong. It wasn't just burnout, it was emotional fatigue, creative exhaustion, and the slow erosion of joy. And while fans continued to support her, the underlying truth was hard to ignore. Sina wasn't just playing drums anymore. She was fighting to keep her entire musical identity alive, one solo video at a time. Is Sina preparing for a comeback, or quietly planning her goodbye? Now Sina During stands at a crossroads, and fans around the world can sense it. On one path is the comfort of what's known, viral covers, algorithm-friendly uploads, and the familiar rhythm of her channel. On the other lies the uncertain road of reinvention, original music, emotional vulnerability, and possibly stepping away from the pressure altogether. Her recent uploads seem to be hinting at a shift, more experimental projects, longer gaps, and fewer safe picks. She hasn't announced anything formally, but longtime followers feel a storm coming. Will she walk away? Or will she transform her brand into something new, even if it means losing part of her audience? The fear is real, that Sina's quiet consistency may have come at the expense of her personal happiness. But so is the hope that she finds the strength to put herself first, even if it means starting over. After all, behind that famous calm smile is a human being who has given everything to an audience that may never fully understand the cost. And whether she chooses to fight the algorithm, chase a new dream, or simply rest, one thing is clear: Sina's next move could change everything. And when that moment comes, the world will finally see the full story, not just the smile, but the soul behind the sticks.